to Cutscenes and Cupcakes, the podcast. Hey, look, it showed up down there.
Yeah.
We decided to record today, which is awesome because you can see our beautiful faces, but I still don't have to wear a bra.
I'm not
Same
wearing
here.
one either.
It's great.
We're missing getting together to record, but it has been kind of fun to try out a couple different ways to do this. This is a fun one. You probably can't tell by our background, but we are in the beautiful city of Columbia today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are.
Because we are going to talk about the game Bioshock Infinite, an oldie but goodie.
Yay!
Is it an oldie? I feel old when you say that.
Is it? It was like 2000.
It was a while ago. I want to say it was like 2011. No,
It was
maybe 2012.
It was 2013.
Okay.
So still, that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
Time flies.
We're getting old.
I know.
Before we get into all that, though, I'm Steph.
I'm Lindsey.
And I'm Marlee. We have our little names.
Yeah, or according to my name, I'm Stephanie.
I feel like our names actually really well describe like our personalities. Like Stephanie goes for the funny, like kind of cute name. Marlee goes for like the professional, but there's a little bit of a joke in there. And then there's me who's just like boring old Linz. Like
oh goodness.
If you haven't listened to our first episode on Bioshock 1, go do that as well.
Yeah.
It is a first episode, be warned.
That would be a fun project to listen to our first one and then listen to this one since they're both Bioshock episodes.
Tell us how far we've come, if anywhere. Hopefully somewhere.
I
feel like I've grown.
2. We skipped right over 2 and went straight to Infinite. My daughter, sometimes she'll do like not on her forehead.
Her third eye is
I'm watching you, but not on her eyes on her forehead.
That's adorable.
You're like, Aria, what the? Stop throwing your gang signs at me.
Oh, goodness. Well, before we dive into or fly up to Columbia.
Yeah, that's a little more accurate.
Marlee's
let's do our not a sponsor segment. So this is the little segment that we like to just talk about some other things going on in our lives besides video games, because we do have other interests, believe it or not.
Mine's heavily video game themed, but
that's okay.
It's different.
You go first then.
Oh, okay. So mine is Jeremy Soule. Do either of you know who that is?
No.
He is the composer who wrote the music for the Elder Scrolls series, specifically just Oblivion and Skyrim, which are 2 amazing games. Yeah, I think he did write that actually. Yeah, and he wrote like the ambient tracks that play while you're playing the game, and they're just so amazing and so peaceful. Like, as you guys know, but no one else knows yet, but will know when I make this sentence work. I was like super anxious like an hour ago, and like I took my like emergency med, and I was like, okay, I just have to wait for this to kick in, and I'm gonna start feeling better, and then I can like move on. And I just like flipped on Jeremy Soule, and I started listening to his like latest song. It's like Fantasos or something. I probably obliterated that, but I don't want to go look it up because I'm scared it'll kick me out of the show. And then I listened to some Skyrim soundtrack, and it was just like exactly what I needed. And it was so peaceful and so beautiful. Like, his music sets such an amazing mood of like sacredness. I don't know how else to describe it. And like, I could go into I could write essays about like how the song Far Horizons makes me feel, or the Streets of Whiterun, and how I just want to emulate those songs in my demeanor because they're so amazing, and like the mood that they set, and like it's, I don't know, it just kind of all ties into how I think like music is spirituality, and how it, you know, it affects so much of your mood in your life. If you just, it's like taking, I promise I'm not high or like thinking abstractly too much, hopefully, but like I feel like listening to a song is the same thing as taking, what are you doing?
I just sneezed, but I muted it so no one can hear
Okay.
it.
I see. I thought you were laughing at me because I was staring off in the distance as I
No.
make this weird
I
sentence.
snoozed.
No, I feel like taking, like listening to a song is the same thing as like taking a drug to alter your mood, but like it's the healthiest thing you can do. Like it doesn't hurt anyone. It inspires everyone, and like it, I don't know. I'm just super inspired by him, and I'm super in love with him. Um, and
I feel you because I listened to the new Jonas Brothers song today and it made me very happy. Like
well,
a
there you
drug.
go. Yay!
I saw you post about that, Steph, and that made me happy.
Aww.
I've been listening to the new Joe Bros album for a while
So
now.
good. Sorry, not to steal, you're not a sponsor, but I was concurring.
That's okay. Joe Bros and Jeremy Soule are very similar. No, I'm super hoping that he's in the next Elder Scrolls installment, which is going to be years away, but I can't wait to see what he does next because it's so beautiful and so moving that it makes the whole game for me. It made the whole game of Skyrim special, and it made Oblivion special because it would be playing in the background. So anyway, thank you for attending my TED Talk. That is my not a sponsor.
We should collaborate a video game playlist, a video game
scores
playlist. Wow, thank you. And post it for our listeners to listen to because I feel like we actually talked about scores. Not a lot, but we mentioned it several times. So
I would do that, but I need to make several different moods. Like, this is what you have sex to. This is what you do the laundry to. This is what you cry to. Like, I would need a mood series.
This is what you can study to, or just you know when you need like a little pick me up. Yeah.
Well, we'll start with one as an overall, and then move on. Spread our wings.
You know what we should do is we should make a blog post about it and put in little clips from the music. And speaking of blogs, we have a blog post. I was going to say blog episode. A blog post on our website. And it's actually about the first Bioshock, because we're kind of having like this fun little like Bioshock like week, I guess you could call it. But no, also I wanted to say, Lindsey, like about kind of back to what you were talking about, like it's so true, like how even video game scores can have such an impact on your mood. Because like just like people like to go back and listen to like movie scores, video game scores are right up there, if not even like more incredible. And I only say that because like video games tend to be longer than movies, so they have a lot more music that they need to fill in the space and everything. But you know, and it's just it really has like a really like impact on you. Like I went back, I was playing the DLCs of the Spider-Man games, and just like when I pulled up the main loading page and it was playing the main theme, like I just instant chills. Yeah. Like full body chills, like, because it's such a good game, and you're just like, yes, I feel so much better now.
Well, it's amazing how powerful they are. Sorry, Steph, keep going.
No, you're fine. I remember when we did the Detroit episode, I actually watched a documentary on the making of Detroit, and they talked about how each character has a different, not just different scores, but different instruments they use for each score. And even like they invented an instrument for, I think, Marcus's score. And you don't think about how much like thought and effort is actually put into it. Well, I don't. I guess that's not always the first thing to think of, but it really is amazing. We watched Zenimation on Disney Plus today, which is where they show parts of Disney movies, animated movies, but they take out all the background music so you can hear in detail all the sound effects that go into it. And that was really interesting because it's so detailed. Like everything has a sound, even though it's not necessarily the thing you focus on. And I'm sure video games are the same thing where they put in so much time and energy into their sound editing. And it's like we focus mainly on the gameplay, on the character building and the story, which is all amazing, but it's also cool to see all the aspects brought into it together.
Right. No, I agree completely. It's mind blowing. And like I could do an entire podcast just about this because it affects me so strongly. But like
side mission ideas.
Side mission ideas, yeah, sure, definitely. Like hit me
and
up
blog posts.
Because like I don't know, I consider myself a pretty creative person. Like I have a lot of outlets creatively, and I'm not good at creating music. I'll never be good at creating music. I've given up on that. But if I could write like a paragraph or a book or anything that would make me feel as much as like the Zelda 25th anniversary medley makes me feel, I would just die. Like it would be amazing. Like music is so potent. But yeah, anyway, that's why not a sponsor. We should move on.
No, I think it's great. And I mean, even just like our episode that we're doing today on Bioshock Infinite, like it has an incredible score as well that just really like sets the mood for what you're getting into in Columbia. And like we're just going to talk about it because we're already on the subject, but like when you first like enter Columbia and you're like in that church, do you guys remember like the beautiful choir music that's going on in the background?
But it's so eerie at the same time. Like,
that's
it's
like
perfect.
But that's the point because you're like in this like strange place and you don't know where you are and you're like, what's going on?
People that are like,
but it's also very like has Americana themes to it too, which totally ties into everything in Infinite.
Yes.
Which we will talk more about.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go next. So my not a sponsor, I feel like I got chastised by this a little bit the other day when we were talking about the subject of pizza. My not a sponsor is my else. No, we're not talking about that, Lindsay.
Okay.
No. My one of my favorite pizza places is Blaze. And I'm going to do that as my not a sponsor. Because while I do love Little Caesars, I also have, good taste as well. And like gourmet pizza, Little Caesars has its own place and time. Anyways, Blaze. I love Blaze because it is delicious and you get like your own like little personal pizza. It's not that small. It's
big.
Big. No, it's not
big. Like I'm very disappointed in that size of pizza. Like what did it come out of an easy bake oven? Like
yes. No. But yeah, they have like this delicious pizza. It's called White Top, and it's just like an Alfredo sauce and cheese and bacon and garlic, and it's so good. And I kind of want to go there right now because that sounds really good. Anyways, that's all I have to say on it.
That's a good one. I love the way the pizza makes you feel. No, I'm just kidding. I do, but that's a different podcast like as well.
Experience.
It is, though. Have you guys been to Blaze?
I do like Blaze, and their ranch is really good. Not that you eat ranch, but I do with my pizza.
Yes,
top notch ranch. I was going to do a TV show, but it was kind of like a angry not a sponsor because Single Parents just got canceled and I have a lot of feelings about it.
Oh.
But instead I'm going to do my paddleboard that I just got.
Nice.
I could remember where we got it. It was someplace in Sandy, Utah. But the guys there were really knowledgeable and really helpful. But anyways, I got a paddleboard and I'm really excited. And we've only taken out once so far, but I think we're actually going to Flaming Gorge next weekend as like a day trip to do it.
Flaming Gorge.
What did I say?
Flaming Gorge. You said it. You said it right.
Oh,
I just repeated you. I don't know why.
You guys just correct my pronunciations of things so often that I get self-conscious. I don't know where I was going, but it's
you're going to Flaming Gorge and you're going to take your paddleboard out again.
Next week. So it'd be nice to do something outside and on the water. And we got Aria a little life vest so she can like sit on the front while we paddle around. And it's just really fun to have outdoor activities to do. So yeah, I'm excited about my paddleboard.
Nice.
If you want to know more about my paddleboarding adventures, follow me on, what is my Instagram handle now? Happy Chubby Hippie Instagram.
That's your Insta?
Yeah, I just changed it.
Oh, are you a hippie?
I feel like I'm a little hippie-ish.
She likes crystals.
She does have crystals.
We did stage my new massage room.
Oh,
she's a hippie.
Yeah, I guess I just don't associate you with that label. I wasn't there for your rebranding, but I can see it.
Well, I think I'm going to change it soon too, so we'll see.
Well, you better follow her soon because it's going to change.
On a side note, before we start our episode, I wanted to just mention some like video gaming news. It's kind of sad, but I think that it fits our gaming experience really well.
Yeah,
so
let's hear it.
About God of War, the new one, a ton. Mm-hmm. And Christopher Judge is the voice actor, but the person that they did the fighting combat styles and modeled that after was a WWE wrestler named Shad Gaspard, and he died recently. He was swimming with his son off the coast in California, and they both got caught in a riptide, and the lifeguard came out, and he told him to save his son, and he couldn't get to both of them. So I just thought it was like it's so tender and cute, and like Kratos died saving his son, his boy. Like I just thought it was really tender, and like thought that we should give a little shout out to Shad Gaspard and his family, and hope like rest in peace. And I hope your family's doing well.
Yeah, definitely.
I know. I don't mean to bring it down, but we've talked about God of War so much, and we love the game so much, and so
yeah,
I just mentioned that. So, anyways,
yeah, I don't know how to segue out of that. It's sad, and yeah.
It's fragile.
I don't know. It really is. I guess speaking of father relationships, Bioshock Infinite has quite the story. Yeah. There's a segue.
Yeah.
That's a segue, yeah. That's a segue that happens.
I don't know.
You're right, though. It is a theme throughout Bioshock, and I am excited to dive up.
Oh.
Blast off. Why? Oh, blast off. That's a good one.
That just reminds me of like
it's kind of like the Magic School Bus. Like, I don't know.
So the basis of Bioshock Infinite is it's interesting because it's already pretty different from the first Bioshock, especially where the protagonist, the person that you are playing in the game, from the beginning, you know their name, you know who this person is. Because in the first Bioshock, like I don't think you find out his name until like the end or
you
ever.
Have to dig pretty deep into the lore.
Yeah.
His name is Jack Ryan, which is fun. But Yeah, there's no way you know that until like after the twist and
Right.
then some, So
Yeah.
yeah, it is kind of cool that, BioShock opens with the banging on the door, Booker DeWitt,
Yeah, and
So
so you automatically know who you are in this game, and all you know is that you have to go find this girl, and all you know is that she's in the city of Columbia, and that you got to go rescue her, find her because you owe a debt to somebody, and you don't. It's not really clear as to, like, there's not really many more details other than that,
Yes.
and so you're. Yeah, so you're just like, I gotta go, I guess I gotta go to Columbia and find it, because he's like down on Earth and then he's gotta go up to
It's a
Columbia.
city on blimps.
yes.
So, oh yes.
That, what's the word? It's what the South wanted to do to the North during the Civil War. It ceded the United States.
Oh, seed as in CEDE?
I think so.
Yeah,
I am not a spellist.
it's definitely
Wait.
not SEED, because that would mean they would just like come and plant some flowers.
Oh, I hope everyone enjoys our spelling humor.
Solid spelling humor.
But yeah, so Booker goes up to Columbia, but kind of as I mentioned before when we were talking about the music in this game, he finds that in order to enter the city, he has to be baptized and basically like kind of become a new, like be kind of born again in such a way in order to like enter the city. Like you have to be cleansed in order to enter Columbia. And so he goes through the motions.
Aggressive. It gets
aggressive.
It's really weird. It's odd, especially if that's something that you're just not used to, but
looking you are the forefathers as you're getting submerged and baptized in the water.
Oh yeah,
it's very ominous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting during that scene when they're baptizing you, they're singing like an old African spiritual song, which is interesting in the fact that Columbia is a really racist city.
Yeah.
As I was doing some like research, just remembering this game, I got sucked into a Wikipedia hole. So
that's always fun.
Yeah, Columbia, which is the female representation of America. I even have a graphic for you. Do we recognize? Oh, I'm going to do this. We're going to do this.
Where are you going to put it?
Am I sharing? Am I screen sharing?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, actually.
So we've all seen like pictures like this.
She is majestic.
Yes. So her name is Columbia. She's the female representation of the United States, which is what Columbia is based off of, because it's supposed to be like an idolization of the America that they want Columbia to be. And we also see her. We all recognize this lady. Oh, from Columbia Pictures.
Pinterest. Oh.
Oh,
it comes full circle.
It didn't click on it.
Yeah,
I see
it, but
I see the bottom half.
Did that work?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always thought that would be the easiest Halloween costume ever, but no one would get it. I think about that every time I go to a movie. Like, just bring a torch and people are like, "Oh, you're the Statue of Liberty, but not green." I'm like, "No, that's not it."
You could even like theme it too if you wanted to be like, I don't know, like goth and hold up a skull. Anyways,
sure.
And it's also,
but then people will confuse you for Hamlet.
It's also interesting
Macbeth,
because Columbia, the city, is based off of the World Fair that happened to celebrate Columbus's 400-year discovery of the United States. And then I got into a weird Wikipedia trap about H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, that's what my next thought was. I'm like,
during the
World Fair,
he murdered a bunch of women that stayed at his hotel. So there we go.
Interesting.
All right.
Interesting points.
Holmes, man.
And they're all kind of on theme for how Columbia feels. So
Yeah, my favorite thing about this game, like kind of the theme, is that it's very steampunk. Like even more so than the first Bioshock. Like the first Bioshock has a lot of steampunk elements to it, but this one I feel like really just I mean there's just a lot more of it. I mean, it feels like a lot more mechanical, especially because like I fell into the same Wikipedia hole, Steph. There was like a part that kind of talked about how like in Rapture, the underwater city in the first Bioshock, you're a little more limited to your surroundings because you're in these buildings, you're underwater. But with Bioshock Infinite and being in Colombia, there's like having it being open in the air and everything. There's a lot more that the game developers could do and like include in the gameplay and stuff, like such as the skyhook system.
yeah,
You
I
know,
was thinking about the skyhook.
the skyhook.
The skyhook. Yes.
And he can like use like the cable system to like get around town like a lot quicker and just like jump onto things and even just like having lots of like opponents like coming after him, shooting stuff at him. I mean, for goodness sakes, like we got to mention the songbird. Like that's a crazy like thing adversary that he has to fight.
The firefighters and like the kind of like automatons, it is much more mechanical. So yeah, no, that's
well, and even
observation.
What's the weapon? That
Skyhook.
No, isn't it like that in the first couple scenes where they like take off someone's face?
Yep, that's the same thing.
All right,
it is graphic and
it is
wonderful.
So graphic, it almost made me like not want to play, but I endured.
Yeah,
what
no,
I
don't
want to not play is like the racism, like in the very beginning when you're like supposed to like throw an apple or the ball or whatever at the couple that's like tied up out there. Like it got dark fast and not in a direction I thought it would be going dark. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to like play this. So of course, you know, I do the thing and I throw it at the guy and get myself in all kinds of trouble. But man, yeah, this thematically, I think it's different. It's apples and oranges, but thematically, I think it's a little darker than 1 and 2 was. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Though in my Wikipedia hole, I was reading more about like the themes and stuff too. And actually, the game developer, like, he didn't want it like it is interesting that we bring up racism because like he didn't want the game to like be about that, but because of the time period that it was in, racism was a part. It was just there, unfortunately. Like it was a part of everybody's lives. It's not like obviously it's not like how it is today, but like even back then, because I think this was what 1912
or something, yeah.
You know, like that was just a part of the culture. So the game developer didn't really want that to like be an overall theme, but he wanted people to more focus on the theme of like making choices and your consequences and how, you know, things affect your life down the road and stuff. And I mean, because we see that a lot with my favorite characters besides Booker and Elizabeth are the
coin tossers.
Yeah, the who?
The coin tossers?
Yeah, the Luteces.
The twins. Yeah.
Robert and Rosalind Lutece. Yeah, because they show up like seriously everywhere.
Yeah. And like after that first big scene with that couple in the apple tossing.
Yeah, definitely. They're very much a part of like choice and consequence and like chance and just like and how it's just like constant in every universe that Booker finds himself in during this game.
Yeah, I was reading that part too of the Wikipedia article, and I thought it was really funny that he mentioned he didn't want to, like, this game to him was not political. which
Mhm.
I think is hysterical because it's like it feels very political. Like I understand his vision, but he used the freaking founding fathers for hell's sake. Like that in
Mhm.
itself is a political act. And I don't know if he was speaking for Infinite itself or all the Bioshock games, because I mean Bioshock 1 is really political as well. Like it's just
Yeah.
interesting, like his vision. And I'm not like I don't know. It's I definitely
I
got
actually, sorry to interrupt. I actually would argue that he did an okay job of making it not too political. Like the settings are obviously very politically charged. But like I liked how Marlee, your research showed like it's more about making the choice, and it didn't seem so like in your face, like this is right, this is wrong. It was just there, and you're
Mhm.
like, and you obviously, if you hopefully went to, I don't know, school and got a decent education on, how bad things happened, then you obviously have a gut reaction to either side, and you're like, that's wrong, and you make that choice. But like it wasn't too aggressive of like, oh, be a liberal, or whatever like that,
well for me it felt very which is something I believe politically that everyone wants to be a good person. And so it is about the choices you make personally and how you choose to react to what's going on in the world around you so that you can be a better person and make the people around you better people.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess is abstractly political, but also feels political to me. But I'm probably the most political one of our
I
little
mean,
group.
to me, that just sounds like that doesn't really sound political. That just sounds like what human nature.
Philosophical,
It sounds
like,
I
like
am
what
very
human.
philosophical.
It
Tell
sounds like
me
what human
quickly.
nature should be. It's human
Yeah.
nature.
mm-hmm. Which, how cool that this game would spark this whole conversation, because there is a lot to think about. There's a lot to process just from the environment. And I think that's something that Bioshock as a series really masters, is
Mm-hmm.
like these environments and settings and situations and characters that really make you think like, am I for capitalism? Or like, where did this go wrong? Where did this system go wrong?
Well, and
Mm-hmm.
And
not to
things
mention
like
the
that.
flawed natures of our founding fathers. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, they did amazing things, but we're all human.
Yeah. It's
Well,
true.
and just like what these two cities, Rapture and Columbia, kind of represent is that there's this group of people who they decided that they didn't, they wanted to create their own society. They wanted their own government. And so they left. They brought other people with them. They created a whole new city and everything, like because they wanted to be able to have their views and their um, roles and everything. Like they wanted it a certain way, and they obviously weren't getting that in whatever country or wherever they came from. So they were like, "Okay, I'm gonna go do my own thing then, and I'm gonna be cool and make a city that sits on blimps and sits up in the air."
Yeah,
Right.
Colombia is supposed to be like the idealistic version of like white United States, which they do a good job of like personifying
Mhm.
with the racism and servitude. Anyways, like yeah, it's just a very interesting setting and brings up emotions, obviously.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Our emotions.
Besides the setting, what did you guys think of the story? I don't want to go too far into detail because it gets complicated fast.
Yeah, it
But there will
does.
be spoilers, which we should have mentioned at the beginning. But
Yes,
you should
there will
also
be
know by now.
spoilers.
The twist in Bioshock Infinite is one of my favorites. I think it's very cool and very dark.
Mm, I
So
agree.
yeah.
And it's something that it's like
Thank
I
you.
said, like it's so big and so complex. I forgot. Like it wasn't until my second playthrough that I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember this. Like Booker, poor guy. Like,
Comstock.
but yeah, Booker is Comstock. I forgot that. I completely forgot that. Like after my first playthrough, and then played it a few years down the line. And like there was, I don't know, there was so much that went on like in the last maybe 3 hours of gameplay that I had a hard time keeping up because like there's so much and it's good. I will say, go ahead, Steph.
I was just saying the last couple hours there's a ton of cutscenes, which is really like it is good. Like like no, like they're finishing up the story, but there's so much to finish up that it's a ton of cutscenes.
Well, which isn't bad to me.
No, but it also kind of just shows that like because in the game, yeah, throughout the game, there are a lot of different areas where depending on what choices you make in the game, affect how things go on later on. But at the same time, like there's still a certain ending that's going to happen, and so they got to wrap things up. And so, yeah, there is going to be a lot of cutscenes. And so because I'm pretty sure this one, it is the same ending no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, there's not multiple endings as far as we know.
No.
So the ending is, for people who don't know, is Booker DeWitt ends up being another incarnation of Father Comstock, who was the cult leader in Colombia that kidnapped Elizabeth. And you go back in time to when you are baptized and take the name Father Comstock, and all the reincarnations of Elizabeth drown you so that you don't cause you so you don't get to brainwash her and use her as a tool for your cultist and cultisms.
And they're not really so much as in reincarnations, but more like there's multiple universes. Yes. There's multiple timelines going on. And so there's different versions of the same person. And I mean, and I guess because like I read on the Wikipedia page, because Booker / Comstock went, like he bounced through universes so much, it actually made him become sterile. And so that's why he kept going back to try to get Elizabeth, because he needed an heir. Yeah. And Elizabeth, I mean, again, spoilers, is his daughter, like it is his daughter. And so he wants her to come back to Colombia, but it's just all this like whole messed up thing. And it's not, I don't think
toxic family situation.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not doing this the right way at all. And then obviously we have Booker, who is the same person, now trying to come and save her. And like, oh yeah, it's just like this whole thing that just keeps happening. And it is interesting because we got to talk about the very, very last scene.
Yes.
Where after the multiple Elizabeths drown you wake up to the same knock on the door, like Booker kind of thing. And then it just like cuts to black and you're like,
Well, you're supposed to be walking into Elizabeth's room, aren't you?
I can't remember.
As a baby. I think it's as a baby. So it's like earlier on.
Which like leads to so many questions.
I will say, when I played through the first and even second time, I wasn't crazy about the end. I wasn't crazy about I was just like, okay, this got a little blown up. Like it was just a little bit much. But playing Burial at Sea really helped me to like understand the story, but also to appreciate it. Like I will say, like, if you're gonna play Bioshock Infinite after listening to all of our spoilers, then please get Burial at Sea. Because it completes it. Like it supplements it in such a good way that on my second playthrough I played Burial at Sea after, and I'm like, oh, so like I don't know if I'm gonna knock off a rating point or anything for how I felt about the story, because with Burial at Sea, like it all made it better. But I don't know. What did you guys think?
I love the ending.
Yeah.
But I also played Burial at Sea with you guys, and I thought like it is a really good addition to it. And obviously they left it open for a fourth Bioshock. which we've heard whisperings about in the internet.
Yeah.
They might be doing. So that makes me excited. Bioshock series is one of my favorites. It's probably one of my first like real introductions to a first person shooters where I actually played and didn't like watch people play, or it wasn't 007 or GoldenEye.
It's because you stole my Xbox in college. I remember that.
Excuse me, I think I have a picture of you and Blake playing it on my floor because you brought it over to play with him.
Yeah, and then I left it there, and you kept it forever.
I lived across the street.
You kept it forever.
No, wait. No, I thought you were talking about the time when Lindsey, when me, you, and Blake played Infinite like all day, and
bad.
Steph was at work, and she like came home. We were like almost done, and we're
she's like,
yeah.
save this game for me. I want to see it, and then we
it. We
played it all day. I'm sorry.
I played without me.
It's such a good game. We wanted to see what happened.
Yeah, it is. I would have loved to play it with you guys.
It's your fault for having to go to work.
I
Actually, do not ever quote me on that because I get
anyway. I mean, it was even though I feel bad for leaving Steph out, that was still like it was still a fun.
Really?
I do. But it was still like a fun. It was still a fun memory because, like, seriously, like me and Lindsey and Blake all day, just like straight played it, and it was actually a lot of fun. And actually, I think if I remember right, because I didn't know like anything about Bioshock. Like I was such a video game noob, and I think like after playing that, I think that was what sparked me to play the first Bioshock with you, Lindsey. Remember?
I do remember that actually. Yeah. I do remember.
Yeah, remember?
And I talked
actually without me too.
What?
That something you guys played without me too?
No, we played with you.
Oh, you were there.
Was I there?
We were roommates.
Calm down. We were living together. There's no way you weren't.
I do think so. That time that Lindsey brought over her Xbox and left it there and could have picked it up whenever she wanted because she lived across the street and we never locked our doors. I was playing Bioshock alone one night with like a blanket over me and like my hair up in a messy bun and all the lights off. And actually the TV was on the ground. So I was like sitting on the ground cross-legged and like playing Bioshock. And it was right when Blake and I had like first started dating or something. So I think it was like one of the first times he saw, like I hadn't tried to get put together and like make myself cute. I was just playing a game and enjoying myself in sweatpants and probably no bra again.
And that probably turned him on more than
anything. And I think
not the no bra thing, but the
very attractive to me at that point. It sealed our fate.
Well, you're welcome.
I know. It's funny how like Lindsey's the one who introduced the Bioshock series to us.
I'm proud. No, Bioshock's a big deal to me. Like, I'm happy to have shared it because it's such a good series and it's so captivating that, you know, it's worth sharing.
Oh, yeah. And there's some
aesthetic of both games. I mean, we'll talk about Infinite itself. The aesthetic is just not just like steampunky and fun and cool, but it's pretty.
Definitely.
And scary. It's everything. It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
I think it really shows how beauty and terror can go hand in hand.
Yes. Just like you, Steph.
I'll get philosophical again. Yes. I want people to be scared about how beautiful I am.
Okay. Well, should we move on?
No.
Do we want to focus on that for a little longer?
No, let's move on. Let's move past that. Favorite characters. I feel like there's only 3 really to choose from.
There's a lot.
Okay.
There's tons.
If you can even remember them, Steph.
I knew who they were. I just couldn't remember their names. Let's be real. Who's played this recently?
But you guys did your Wikipedia research.
Yeah.
I played it like a year ago. Or more. More than a year ago.
Who is the leader of the Vox Populi? She was cool.
Oh, I know her name.
I can't remember. She's in my top 5, and I really like the songbird.
Let's see
Is that
Yeah,
weird?
we haven't talked about the songbird a lot. It's fucking creepy, but very
It's
cool.
so cool. Like when you're on that ship and you have the big battle with the songbird and you like can control it. That was amazing.
Yes, it's Daisy Fitzroy.
Yep.
Okay. My favorite was I said it earlier, but I really like the Lutece twins.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just so they're so interesting because they're just like they're there, but not really. Like
Yeah,
they kind of just like phase in and out and just pop up in random places. And you're just like, who are these people?
Mm-hmm.
But they're so like whimsical and they are funny and they're just like
they're like the observers. It's
yeah,
so
they
cool.
definitely bring a little bit of levity to such a dark game.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Elizabeth. I appreciate badass video game characters.
Well, and I mean, we're not going to go too much into it right now because I'm sure we will at a very soon future time. What am I saying?
An upcoming event.
We just let it sometimes.
Well, I feel
out of your system.
I feel like you really see Elizabeth shine in the DLC Burial at Sea. You see a lot more of her, and because she's like a little bit older, and she
brings it all together.
She kind of has that like
I got excited.
Yeah, she has like that femme fatale like mysterious like vibes going on, and she's like so gorgeous. Like if I was going to cosplay Elizabeth, I would choose her outfit and her aesthetic from Burial at Sea.
Yeah,
that would 100%. Be a fitting cosplay.
It would
be cool.
And I don't know, like how she sacrifices everything to get Jack to Rapture. Damn, like gosh, what a great story.
It all comes together.
It all comes together.
Little pinky finger.
There's always a lighthouse.
Yes, there's always a lighthouse.
But yeah, let's do ratings. Should we do ratings?
Is everyone eating or drinking something?
No.
I have a mug full of Moscato.
Ooh.
I mean, I have a water bottle.
You cannot. I forbid you to give ratings in water. No, that is 5 tall glasses of water.
Okay, no, I'll do because I have some creamies in my freezer, so I'll use. And I had one earlier, and I'll probably have one.
Ooh.
My mug says "party animal" and it's a sloth.
It's cute.
I just thought people could appreciate that.
That's adorable. Okay, I'm gonna do creamies.
Yep. I'll do Cafe Rio salads because that's what I had for dinner.
I love it.
No, it has to be a dessert.
We haven't always had that rule.
Okay, fine.
We had swig cookies last night. Do it in swig.
Swig cookies. Yeah. I'll do that.
Let's all do swig cookies.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this game 4 out of 5 swig cookies. Maybe like a 4.5. Like I said, I love the Bioshock series. I love the gameplay in this. It was very dark, but I was during my Wikipedia research. The game dev also talked about how people thought this was the most violent of the Bioshock games.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and people were like, "I wish it was less violent," and it's kind of how it's all about how Booker is a violent human in itself, so you can't take away the violence and keep the story. I don't know why I started talking about that. I really enjoyed this game. It's not my favorite of the Bioshock series, but I think I'm always down to play one of the Bioshock games. So 4 out of 5, 4.25. Great game. I love it.
Are you okay there, Lindsey?
Yeah, Lindsey, what's going on?
Yeah, no, I have 1% battery, I just realized. So I was like frantically trying to plug it in, but when I unplugged my headphones, it won't let me plug in. Yeah. So yeah, I was panicking there for a second. It probably looked terrible. Is it my
I'll
turn
go.
to rate?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to go next?
Go ahead and go.
Okay, you
If
go
my
last.
thing dies, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Oh, you didn't plug in?
No, because it won't let me. I can't hear you guys if I unplug my headphones.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
hear
Well,
me at
you.
all?
Okay, you go. You go, Lindsay.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I would give this game also a 4.5 out of 5. The end of just got a little too wonky for me, I think. So without the supplement of Burial at Sea, I just it knocked it down just a little bit for me. But the gameplay is great, the scenery is captivating, the setting is amazing. You know, it's a solid game.
Hey, before Lindsay's phone dies, should we take a picture of ourselves? Because we're vain.
Like on your, are you just gonna do it on your phone?
I'm on a laptop. Why don't one of you screenshot it? This is the content you guys are here for.
Sorry. Okay.
I think
You
I got
guys
it.
can hear me?
I don't know. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so
Okay.
it's funny because I would give the same rating, 4.5 swag cookies out of 5. Even before you guys said all your ratings, like I was thinking that exact same thing because I do have to compare this one to the first Bioshock because while they are very different, they're also very similar, but I like the first one better. Like if I was going to go back and be like I want to play BioShock, I'm going to go to the first one. Like that would be my go-to. However, Infinite is still really amazing. The story is amazing and you really have to play it from beginning to end. Plus the Burial at Sea DLCs to really get the full like story. Like you really need like all of it. And it's so worth it. And we'll talk more. I really want to talk more about Burial at Sea at another time. So hopefully in the near future, we can talk more about that because it is also a very awesome game because it just brings both together and it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing it that way? I was doing it this way. But anyways, yeah, no, this game is amazing and this is one that we've been wanting to talk about for a while, but we just kind of kept putting it on the back burner. So sorry about that. But
well, it's also a great time because I feel like the whisperings about a follow-up game are getting stronger and stronger. So hopefully it comes to fruition.
Yes, definitely. Well, if you guys have like feedback for us, please like talk to us. We're friendly. We love hearing from you guys. So please send us an email. It's down there on the bottom. But it's cutscenes.
Sorry.
Cutscenesandcupcakes@gmail.com.
If you need someone to like party chat with you while you're playing one of the Bioshock games, we can be there because it gets scary. You need a friend.
Yeah, it is. It's
Always a
good.
lighthouse.
Or pull a Stephanie or Lindsey or Marlee and play it fully immersed because it's scary as all hell, but it's awesome.
Yes, it is good.
So
it's way good.
Well, until next time, grab a friend,
eat some swig cookies,
and play some Bioshock.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.